In the world, you hear phrases like, you have to face your fears, you have to face your problems, you shouldn't walk away from your problems. And if you're a man, or if you're a male, they would often tell you, be a man, face it. Alright, when you hear such things, they may sound true and valid, but you need to look at the big picture. I've been saying this since the day I began with this YouTube channel. I have over 1700 videos here, and in almost all my videos I emphasize that you need to look at the bigger picture. And that's one thing a lot of people just don't do. Okay, let me give an illustration of a situation here. You're a guy walking on the street, you're coming from work, not a street in an abandoned neighborhood, but in through town. You're walking through a street, and you notice that there's this guy looking weird at you. He looks very frustrated, very angry, and he's about to explode. Now, and that guy even begins to walk towards you, not quickly but slowly walks towards you. Now, anyone with a half brain could figure out that this situation is ugly. So what do? You walk away. You're not going to confront the guy. You're not going into his face and oh no, because that guy is filled with demons. That guy has things in his life that go wrong. He's frustrated, and that frustration is leaking out. So now that you've noticed he is there, you understand now I need to keep my distance. Okay, another illustration. You're a woman, you're at a job, or maybe you're a young girl in high school, and there are certain people that don't like you. They can't stand you. They can't say why, but they have their reasons. What are you going to do? Are you going to fight with them to figure out why and all of that? No, 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 no. Those other girls, or if you're a woman at work, those other women at work, they have their wrong thinking patterns. And you don't have those thinking patterns they have. And they choose to allow themselves to project their frustrations onto you and to act out against you. Now look, what do? You're not going to ignore that this is going on because this is a dangerous circumstance. Look, if you have the chance, you can speak with those women to find out what's going on. But oftentimes when people are holding on to their dislike and their reasons, you can't reason with them, you can't speak with them. They just want an easy way out, they just want an outlet. In that case, if you're a believer, you go into prayer, you go into fasting, and you speak against the circumstance, and you keep on doing your job over there. And if things get worse, and you have a way out, you got another job you can go to, then look for another job, and once you get another job, you leave that place. Did you walk away? Yes, you did walk away. Was it cowardly of you to walk away? No, it was wise. Or let's say you're a young boy walking through the street, you're living in a ghetto, and you have these older boys that are looking for a fight. They are approaching you. They are filled. Listen, those boys or those young men, they have a lot of pain, mostly caused by their parents, by their upbringing, and they're leaking out. They have no interest in facing what their parents did onto them, but now they carry this rage, and this rage is leaking out. Well, you don't need to have the whole explanation. The thing is, they are violent, and the violence can harm people. That violence can even kill people, and they're the ones carrying and holding on to that violence. So, if they look at you and think, "What are you looking at?" and begin to swear or to cuss, what do? You don't have to prove yourself. You just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just spacing out, man." You just pretend you're stupid and just walk on. Others will say, "You're not a man. You need to stand your ground. You shouldn't allow people to disrespect you like that." Look at the big picture. And okay, one thing I want to emphasize also is that I already emphasized, but most people, they don't look at the big picture. They don't even want to consider that there is such a thing as the big picture. They're stuck within their own expectations. Now, such people, look, you'll have them around you. You may be living with them, just don't rely upon them. Right? Okay, make a small confession. Not really a confession, it's nothing to do with sin. Okay. When I was growing up, there were I often encountered such youth. I was a youth also. I'm very quite young still. Distraction, but okay. I encountered often people that were judged. I was just very small. I couldn't understand or comprehend what's going on, but I did sense that this is dangerous. I often just walked away. And people would call me all kinds of names, but I realized, hold on a minute. If I um, fight now, even if I win, there will be consequence I need to deal with. Because violence, and you use violence even to protect something, whatever, it's going to haunt you even when you win in the situation. And it's going to harden you. And before you know, and violence is addictive. So before you know it, it goes far further than you ever wanted it to go. So I'm alive now, as you can see. I'm healthy. It's partially though to me being what they call streetwise. I just call it natural wisdom. Whatever you want to call it, just being real. Look at the big picture. So during this lifetime, you will encounter tribulation. You will have affliction, persecution, all of that. Look at, I'm going to say, look at the big picture, okay? I'm not saying that if you're living in your house and you have neighbors and a lot of people in the neighborhood that have a negative attitude towards you, that you just have to um, leave your house because, well, these people here don't like me. You're the one paying the rent, right? So why are you fleeing? Because they in their homes can't stand you. Look, but if you, let's say if you're in such a case, and I'm talking to believers now, I expect you to be on the spiritual offensive in spiritual warfare. I expect you. So if when you're operating like that, when you operate in the spirit, you're in the spiritual offensive. When you operate in the supernatural, you'll be safe in that house despite the many people around can't stand you. And after a while, you will get another house to stay, but it will be far better than the one you're in. But if you don't operate in spiritual offensive and demons arouse people against you, you're going to flee. You're going to operate in self-preservation, and you're going to end up from bad to worse. So look, I'm not saying you have to just allow things to. You just have to give in to any pressure that comes by. I'm not saying that. What I'm also not advising you is that you confront and confront everything. There are times, even as a believer, you just walk on, you just don't pay attention to it. Why? Because look at this. The enemy, if you're a believer, the enemy knows that you cannot be unsaved. But the enemy can hinder you and cause harm in your environment. So even if the enemy knows that his ultimate goal cannot be reached, he will still, out of his dissatisfaction, attempt to hinder and attack you. Even if he knows he's going to lose. And there are people out there who have the same mindset. Even when they can't win of you, they are just dissatisfied and they're just desperate to have an outlet for their dissatisfaction. Are you going to play into their trick to hand you and your environment as an outlet onto them? No, you're not. So walking away from problems or walking away, that applies to worldly people because they don't have the Holy Spirit and so they don't have any supernatural protection. So they have to either, for them, is kill or be killed, or they need to coexist with harm, or they just need to repress and suck it up, kind of. But for those that are walking by faith, you overcome. And there are going to be situations you just walk away from, but that's not cowardice. That's wisdom. Sometimes, and when you're on the battlefield, you retreat. You go and you're going to take your rest, and while you're resting, you are restoring and building up strength again. And then you go out again. That's how it works in the battlefield, in the military. Well, the same in the spirit. Well, that's all I want to say for now. Enjoy your day. Be at peace.